Good morning, everyone. It's time to go on the record. Congress is heading back after Labor Day, and Senator Elizabeth Warren is here this morning. She has a lot going on in September, including the Iran nuclear vote and the papal visit.
It's the halfway mark for Senator Elizabeth Warren's first Senate term. We asked voters for a grade.
We turned over everything that was work-related, every single thing.
The mounting pressures on the 2016 presidential campaign of Democrat Hillary Clinton.
From WCPB Boston, the inside word from Washington to Beacon Hill, today's newsmakers are going on the record.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ed Harding, along with News Center 5's political reporter Janet Wu. Thank you for joining us this morning. Great to see you as well, Janet. We have the Bay State senior senator with us this morning. Elizabeth Warren is back on OTR. Are you enjoying these last gasps of summer?
Yes. Oh, yes, hanging on.
Hanging on before you have to jump back in, everybody. Great to have
you
you with us this morning.
Thanks for being with us. Let's get right down to business. How do you think President Obama's Iran agreement will play out in Congress this next month?
Well, I think it's going to be a lot of back and forth about it, but at the end of the day, I do think the deal's going to go through.
And you are voting for it?
I will be supporting it. You know, there's only one question in front of us, and that is, what is the best way to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons? We know that a nuclear Iran is bad for the United States. It's a threat to Israel. It's a threat to the Middle East. It's a threat to the world. So we're all trying to find the right way to prevent that. Right now, we've got a deal on the table, and I think that deal is better than anything else that's been proposed.
But that begs the question, is this the best way? You just said, is this the best way?
This is
a way.
The deal on the table, and it is the one supported by the other countries of the world that help bring Iran to the table and who are going to be there to help enforce that deal. And that's important. You know, if others have a better deal they want to put on the table, they should put it on the table and we can evaluate it. Otherwise, this is what we've got.
If he ends up vetoing, do you think it'll be upheld?
I very much hope so. I think that the idea that America cannot pursue a diplomatic alternative when we've got the support of England, France, Germany, Russia, China, all pulling in the same direction, for us to walk away from this, I think would be very costly to the United States.
What is the next step for Congress when it comes to Cuba, in your opinion?
No, I think that we're moving toward normalization.
We'll get there, do you think?
We've tried the alternative,
yeah,
and it hadn't worked. It's time to move toward normalization.
Do you think it'll be a long process, or do you think it should be done quickly, immediately?
I mean, it's already been a long process.
Right.
But my view is it's going to come in increments, and it's going to happen all at once. And we've kind of hit the first of the big pieces of normalization, and I think that's where we're
well, given the political nature of this show and where we are right now, the question then becomes, so what about Republicans? How likely is it that Republicans will eventually back the destination of normalization with Cuba?
You know, there's a fundamental question here about how far out of step Republicans can stay with just sort of the heart of where the American people are. I don't think that most Americans think that continuing a path of trying to keep Cuba cut off works. It just doesn't mean what it meant 50 years ago. And the idea now that the Republicans are going to continue to stake out territory on something like this, I just don't think that's sustainable for them. And frankly, I think that's a problem they've got in general. And we can talk about all of it, but we can talk about it on defunding Planned Parenthood. You know, we can talk about it on the approach on immigration. I mean, there's just a whole set of student loans. How far outside the mainstream can the Republicans stay and be a viable party?
Well, actually, that was my next question, was about college tuition. I think it's safe to say it's really that your college tuition, making it more affordable, is one of your top priorities since you become senator. Are you frustrated with the lack of progress to date?
Yes. Yes. And let me do both halves really quickly. There are two things we need to do. We need to refinance the student loan debt that is outstanding. It is absolutely wrong for the United States government to be making a profit off the backs of people who are trying to get an education and have to finance that through student loans. That's part one. But part two is that we need to use the leverage of the federal government to help bring down the cost of college. You know, the United States government invests about $164 billion in helping people get educations every year through loans and Pell Grants and other aid to our universities. And yet, we ask really for nothing in return. we don't ask that that be used to help bring down costs for our students. Costs have just gotten out of control.
What has stopped things from happening? What has prevented you from pushing this forward?
Well, on student loans, we've put the bill forward now really 3 times, and every time the Republicans have filibustered it, blocked it, won't let us get to a vote.
So what makes you optimistic that you've got any more leverage this September than you have for the last 2.5, 3 years?
Go talk to the American people. You know, this is one of those, check out. This is why I started this by saying how far outside the mainstream can Republicans stay. Republicans, Democrats, independents, libertarians, vegetarians. They want to see us bring down the interest rate on student loans. Who is stopping it? The Republicans who sit in the United States Senate and the United States House of Representatives. We've got all the Democrats on our side on this. This is one that truly divides the parties. I'm ready to take this one to the American people and say, you decide who you want to represent you in Washington.
Yeah.
Well, partly it's doing this. It's getting out and talking to people. It's giving speeches. It's giving interviews. It's going online. It's tweeting about it. It's making this an issue. You know, we have petitions that people have signed, literally hundreds of thousands of people asking the United States government to reduce the interest rate on student loans, to pass a bill to reduce that interest rate. And the Republicans had exactly one answer: no, no. They either vote against it or they block it from ever even getting to a vote. That's just not going to be sustainable. Right now, the United States government is sucking down billions of dollars in profits off these student loans, and they're doing it at the expense of who? Of middle-class kids, of working-class kids, of bootstrappers, of the folks who know that in order to have a future, they need to get an education, and they don't have families who can just write checks for tens of thousands of dollars to help them get educated.
Your passion on this subject is clearly evident, and B, the importance of it is clearly evident.
Yep.
Not that I want to ignore the topic, but I want to ask you about the Pope, because there's some question. Pope Francis is going to be addressing Congress, and he's the first pontiff to do so. How do you feel about the Pope addressing Congress, just in the terms of the Pope addressing Congress?
I'm delighted. I want to hear from the Pope. You know, the Pope has made clear that the kinds of issues that we talk about and we think of as political issues, the environment, what we do for the poor, what our obligations are to help all of us build a future, the Pope makes it clear that those are issues not just of economics, they are issues of values. And I want to hear from the Pope
on a more personal level. I know each member of Congress gets to invite someone to come and hear. Have you decided who you're going to invite?
No.
Do you have a short list?
Well, I did, but I've already been turned down. I asked my oldest grandchild, but she can't miss school. So
wait a minute.
Actually, that's a pretty good excuse. It is a pretty good excuse. It's true. It's true.
To be with you, to see the Pope. Okay, all right.
What can I say?
All right, I know. Here we go.
She's in school.
She's
God
a smart
bless her.
woman. All right, we've hit the OTR Pop Quiz time, and our theme for today's OTR Pop Quiz is presidential candidates past and present.
Oh, dear.
Question 1.
All right.
How many U.S. senators have become U.S. presidents? And it's a multiple guess. Is it 15, is it 20, or is it 25?
15.
15. Question 2. 3 candidates went directly from the U.S. Senate to the White House. Warren G. Harding was one. No relation, for the record. Who are the other 2?
Oh, who went?
U.S. Senate to the
John
White
F.
House.
Kennedy.
And?
Who would the other one be? Give me a hint.
The gentleman that currently lives
Can I call someone? Oh, Barack Obama. Lordy, lordy.
We continue with Senator Warren. Oh, him. We continue with Senator Warren on the record. Stay with us.
That was good.
All right.